What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've got a few little updates to tell you guys and show you guys what I've done over the past week since we've been back from Bunyip. While we're at Bunyip, we met a nice dude. His name's Brendan. We went out for a weekend away. Just had a pretty good time for driving. It was pretty sick. Done some tough tracks that I didn't even think the Pathfinder would be able to do. But while we were there, we did this bun track. I'll put the track name here. Our front diff decided to go bang. It exploded and disintegrated itself. I'll put a clip in right now of why. So after that happened, we went to camp. The next day we still four-drived in Bunyip for a while actually. We got to go to Niji pub, and then on the way home, the diff was just hectic, crazy loud. It was like clack, 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 real bad. We got home. The next weekend, we went to Kraken Expeditions for drive, mate, with the diff still in there. So we ended up driving from Bunyip to Geelong, from Geelong to Werribee, back from Werribee back to Geelong with a blown front diff. I don't know how the hell this thing didn't lock up on us, but it didn't. And it got us home, it saved us. And now we have got a new diff we got from Ballarat Performance Auto Wreckers. And we have received our auto locker from 4Drive Systems, thank God. Just in time for our next trip, which we will be documenting and filming and showing and tagging, you know, all the fun stuff, making a video about it. So in today's video, I'm going to install this locker, get it in the car, and hopefully go test it out. But I've got a couple other things, if you follow me. I've got a couple other things that we have also replaced. So we replaced the front shocks. Super Spares has sent new shocks out under warranty because the old shocks were still under warranty. So we've got the new shocks in. We've also installed a vacuum tank canister for the brake booster. So that way we get a little bit extra more vacuum so the brakes still work while the car's turned off and we don't roll down a hill, crash and die, because you don't want that. And yeah, I'd like to live. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the old diff apart, show you the damage in there. And then after we do that, we'll get into trying to figure out how to fit this thing into the new diff. We've got new seals as well we got to put in. Yeah, we'll both learn on how to do it while I'm doing it, because I have no idea what I'm doing with this. All right, we're gonna open this old diff up and show you what is inside. Now I already have had a look, but I closed it back up so I could show everybody. Have a look at those spider gears. Absolute destruction. Now this, if I can bring the diff forward and turn around a little bit. Obviously this pin here is supposed to be connected to this top one, and it's not. It is completely snapped in half. So that's definitely no good. That's not what you want. And the pinion back there is absolutely just destroyed as well. So that's why I went and got a new diff. So this is a new one. We'll open this up and we'll show the difference. So our new diff is actually from a Nissan Navara D40. And as far as I'm aware, so our new diff is from a Nissan Navara D40, and as far as I'm aware, all manual 6-speed 2.5 litre Pathfinder and Navaras all have the same diff gears, 369. On my Pathfinder, I couldn't find the diff gear placard little thing for the life of me. It just wasn't on there. So I took the old diff out, counted the teeth on that, and then did math, put the big number with a small number, turned out 369. This is a 369. I actually bought this one for 165 bucks, which is ridiculously cheap. Normally they go for like $500, and I wasn't paying 500 bucks for a diff. This is out of a D40 Nissan Navara. It had like 180,000 Ks on it. So, and from the inside, as you can see, it looks a lot better than the other one. This one has all the spider gears intact. That's not broken, and there's no metal shavings absolutely anywhere. You can see at the back there, the pinion, no markings on that at all. It's very, very, very clean, good diff. I guess what we do now is we get that diff out of the way, and then we'll take the carrier out, put it there and then figure out how to put locker in. I've never actually put one of these in. Normally, like from drifting and that sort of stuff, you'd put like a full spool or a mini spool in or something like that. But I've never put an auto locker in, ever. So it's new to me. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna punch, like I already have put one here. I'm gonna punch 2 holes on this side to know that that's the left side, and I'll punch, no, it should be right. I'll punch 2 holes here as well. So that carrier goes this way with these 2 holes. So that's on that side. And on this side, I mean, you don't have to do it, but I'll just do one. Just so I know which way the carrier goes back on. There you go, boom. I'm just gonna. Yeah. And sit into the side. Take that out and sit into the side. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a little bit difficult to remove, but we'll try and just pull him out. Don't worry, hang on, I forgot. On these diffs, they have this big long snout thing. I almost forgot. You need to take the seal out because there's a little circlip in here and a little axle shaft that runs through here into the diff, and it's not going to come out until I take that off. And then there's a little circlip in here. There he is. And that little axle shaft should come out. And we're gonna get this one and put him aside. Can you hold that little washer? Yep. There we go. All right, so these little guys is what I was talking about. You don't want to get these mixed up. They need to go back in the exact same way they come off. So the big one faces that way, little one on the side. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sit these over here next to where they need to go. And there's another one this side. Just one single washer. All right, you got these bearing races as well. Just put them with the side that they go on. And that way you can't mix anything up. Everything's all where it needs to be. So what we need to do, we need to take this crown well off. And it's got all these little bolts on the outside. And I don't know if they are forward thread or backwards thread, so we're going to find out. Okay, so the normal thread, just to let you know. You don't have to smash him, just tap him and it'll come off. There you go, boom, just like that. Actually, what I should do, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to punch a hole on both just to put them back to exactly where they were. That comes off. You don't need him right now, so you can move away. What you do need to do though, there's a little pin here you need to get out, so this pin can be released. And I need to find something to go into that hole and then punch that pin out with a hammer, so that way we can take this little bar thing out. All right, what I'm going to use is a little drill bit. This is a 4.5. I don't have any punches that are the right size for that, so I'm going to hope this works. So this little guy is the dude that holds this pin in place so it doesn't move anywhere. There's only one of them in this diff. What you do now is you just grab that, you pull him all the way out. That's actually in really good condition. That's nice. There's no real bad scoring on this one. Normally it scores here and then it rounds over that lip on both sides. So that's actually really good. Right, now we can do is pretty much just get these diff gears out. They'll just fall out everywhere. You don't need those ones. But what you probably would need is these little things. So yeah, the two gears that sit on the ends of the diff in the inside, they have these little spaces in them. And you want to keep these because you need them for the locker, I'm pretty sure. All right, so what you're left with is just an empty carrier. Just don't damage the bearings in any way because we're going to reuse those. What we're going to do now is we're going to just move these just out of the way so I can open up the locker box and see what's inside there. Oh, look at that, listen. It does come with instructions, I'm guessing. Yes, sick, we need that. But the real exciting bit is in here.
Truck's not really bad.
How do you open box? How does box open?
Like that.
There we go. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Do I know what I'm looking at? No fucking idea. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit here, read the instructions, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so what I've done is I sat down, I've read the instructions, and I figured out what I need to do. I have put the top little coil thing in the diff and measured the distance between here and this shaft, and that's spot on. It come out at 0.40 mil, and then the bottom one I've put in there as well and measured the same thing. No, sorry, the top one come in at 0.50 and the bottom one came in at 0.40, and I've put that in the little calculator thing and it was spot on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to assemble it, and then we're going to use our feeler gauge to get the distance between, I believe it's these two. I'm pretty sure we got to get this distance between. So we're going to quickly, we're going to move this box, get that out of the way. Going to get our center, stick him here, and then grab our top piece with our little thrust washer in there, stick him up in the top, and then grab a spacer, chuck him in, and then grab one of these bad boys, chuck him in as well. Nope, wrong way. Chuck him into there. All right, and then we get our bottom one, chuck him in there, and then washer, chuck him in, get him to go in here, just like that. And now I'm going to spin these guys around. Yep. Spin them around, and then get this rod, chuck him back through there. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to measure this gap here with the feeler gauge. So that gap needs to be 1/48 thousandths to 1/65. So I'm going to figure out what that is in the millimeter and test it. Alrighty, so in this gap here, we're aiming for 3.7 mil to 4.2 mil. Alright, so after rewatching a how-to video on how to do this, I basically need to pull the whole thing apart, which is fun. I can do that. Alright, so what we do is you need to have some grease. And these little dudes, they go in here. So get some grease just to hold them in. You get a little bit of grease just on the end there, chuck him into the hole. And then the same on this one. Oh, that's a bit too much. Grease, hole. Oh, that's backwards. Hang on a minute. Just like that. These little nipply bits stay out because I'm pretty sure that's just what centers the spring. And then you basically just put it all back together. No, you do the springs last. Now, from my understanding, all you do now is you get these pins and you push them down in there, and then you get your spring, sit him on top, and hope to God he doesn't fly away. Alright, so end result, it's pretty much like that. You want the springs to be pushing up against that little pin. So I'm going to quickly go around and, well, not quickly, but I'm going to go around and do the other 3 springs, and we'll see you then when I finish that. Alright, now, all of the springs are in, everything's on properly, nothing's going to fall out. We now have a locked front diff. Now all I have to do is the pin that goes through the middle and needs this back in it. Alright guys, so the diff is now in, the car's already and good and going, and we are now in LOKKA 4-wheel drive training facility, I'm pretty sure it's called. Test out the diff, see how much of a big difference it makes between being open and now just open and front locked. So yeah, we'll get a couple of vids here and then see what happens. Alrighty guys, so we're here at LOKKA 4-wheel drive training centre. About 2 years ago when we first purchased Pidgy, we came here and first thing we seen was this track right here, and I remember looking at it and be like, nah, we're never doing that. This car would never be able to get this. So here we are 2 years later, a few more upgrades, and we're going to give it a crack. Over the last 2 years of learning this car and seeing its capabilities, I reckon it will get it. But we're not going to find out until we give it a go. We've got two more? Yeah, we've got 2 more hill climbs after this one. We're going to check out as well. And they're just as bad as this one, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, let's give it a crack and see what happens. Alrighty guys, this is our second hill climb. We've got one more after this one I want to do. This one we haven't been able to do either, so we're going to try and smash this one out. It's a little bit taunting, this one, because the wombat holes are very, very big in this one, and you have to go to the right as you go up at the end. But I'm sure after the first one it did so well, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Anyway, let's give it a go. So we're at our third little climb here. We've tried this one before when we were both open diffs. Just wasn't able to do it. Just sat there and span just because the wombat holes are pretty deep. But we've smashed the other two, so may as well give this one a go while we're here. So that was LOKKA training facility, full drive playground sort of thing. So we ended up in this video, I fitted a vacuum tank to the brake booster so we have like a reserve of vacuum so we can stop the car if the car ever turns off. What else? We fitted the LOKKA, tested LOKKA, and it definitely worked. Very happy with that. We also installed our new front struts because the old ones were blown. They're performing just as they should. Now I know everything works, everything's behaving as it should, and we should be good for the trip next weekend. Now I will be filming the trips next weekend. I'm not going to give any hints away of what it is yet because it is a very big trip and it's been a dream of mine to go for a few years even before we even owned this car. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.